party in full swing as we come to a game in Pool B, second round again. And this USA versus China. Well, it's no good looking at the history. The form there will tell you nothing because they haven't met since 2003 here in Hong Kong. 6 wins for the US in those early years of the IRB sevens. But USA, well, they played the neighbours of China yesterday and they beat Japan 24-19. And here's the lineup, which has got something to prove in this tournament. Without doubt, their outstanding player at the moment, Zach Test, and they've been reinforced by the return of Todd Clever, and he, very powerful man. And the Suniula brothers, Paul Emmerich, great experience, so they'll be expecting to have a comfortable win here. But China, well, they last played in the IRB sevens a year ago in Hong Kong, and they have 7 from that team, 3 new players in their squad, and no Johnny Chang, no Zhang Qiang, and we shall miss because he scored more tries here in Hong Kong sevens in the IRB series than anyone else, 42 tries. But at 36, his boots are hung up, and goodwill to you, Zhang Ziqiang. Andrew Lees is in charge from Australia. But no easy games in these second rounds for anyone. It's been an erratic performance by USA really this season. They started out with the plate semi-final and that looked promising, and then next tournament in George they were way down, losing out in the Shield semi-final, which is the bottom tier where they don't expect to be as a core team in the tournaments. But they've picked up a little bit, won the Shield in both Wellington and Las Vegas in their home tournament. They wish to do better here. They need to win this one to qualify higher up in the echelons. In the pool with them are England, who they will meet in their final encounter. It's the younger Ronald Suniula, weighed out by Marco Bernard, and this is Todd Clever, veteran of experience, not in age, but in so many years with the 15s, National Eagles, and the 7s. 2 World Cup 7s, 2 World Cup 15s. Remarkable record of Todd Clever. This is Roland Suniula. Man and ball there, but well ducked by Emmerich. Final pass that let them down so much in earlier tournaments. Paul Emmerich goes back out wide. Hooking is Zach Test. He's been outstanding this season. He's actually moving back to prop. Matt Hawkins. No, he is at hooker. I thought he would be. China, untidy ball, and they lose it out. Barnard pops it up via Suniula. That's the other Suniula. And Paul Emmerich can coast in here. The sort of start that USA needed. Player who's another with enormous experience, 31 caps for the USA at 15s, Paul Emmerich, and he's been seen playing in Wales with Newport Gwyn Dragons and in Parma in Italy, in Ulster, Northern Ireland, and at 31 still has some good rugby in his boots. So the USA minus 2 regulars, Mark Brockhoven and the very promising Tyanosa. So they've brought in 2 newcomers who are on the bench at the moment, in Taylor McCarthy and Peter Tiberio. But Todd Clever adds some real force up front.
Back on blue.
The ponytail is easy to follow. He's in possession now. Back from Test to Barnard, and the elusive Sanula in the middle, but offloaded the wrong way. So Jin Yi, one of their more experienced players, who's played in 4 Hong Kong tournaments for China. Best was, what, 5 years ago when they won the bowl here. It's a remarkable occasion. Good running here, though, by Jin Yi again. To Li Yang. It's a terrific tackle by USA there. Emmerich it was. Came to the rescue there. I was just remembering the remarkable final of that bowl back in 2006. Zhang Zhiming, the newer coach than then. When they won the bowl, their final was Chinese Taipei. And I think I'm right in saying it was the first ever sporting encounter when China faced Chinese Taipei. It had the political overtones, as you can imagine, and China won comfortably. But it was a significant moment, and one of those occasions where you felt, well, sport provides bridges between countries. There's Marco Bernard. Currently having a spell with Harlequins in Pretoria, but also from Kutztown University, and has played regularly of late for the San Francisco Golden Gate. And there's Todd's Clever behind him. Last time in the USA Sevens was in the World Cup Sevens in Dubai 2009. Well, China with an early injury, but they've already shown themselves to be competitive in this one, midway through this first half, and only one try between them. So it's Barnard playing the half-back role. Quickly round was Jin Yi, but it's Sanula spreading it wide. And I don't think they'll catch him from here, although there's a big chase on now. Emmerich. It's a great run. Well, he earned his corn with that one. Paul Emmerich, who's another who's played both the 15s in a World Cup and sevens as well. Terrific sprint there. And looking fit and fast as ever. Big handoff on Long Hongxiao, and then really flat out, and the chase in vain. Good score. With the conversion, 12-0. I should know why the 4 follows the name of Paul Emmerich on his shirt, but I don't. I'll ask him. Well, here's a chance now on the break with Lu Juan. Lu Juan looking for some support. Oh, it's a lovely step inside. Lu Juan is going to score under the post, the captain of the China side. Terrific response from the crowd, from this 28-year-old who's a member of the People's Liberation Army Military Sports Club. 5 tries for him, and the player with a lovely sidestep. This was Zach Test offloading badly, and all this way. And watch. Nicely done. Well, the last 2 times they met in Hong Kong, admittedly it was 8 years ago and 11 years ago, China failed to score, losing 31-0 and 40-0. But this time, they're on the board with 7 points, and well deserved. So it keeps USA on the tenterhooks, really. 12-7 is their lead. And believe me, you'll see China becoming more and more a force in sevens rugby now that it's in the schedule before the Olympic Games. They will take it more seriously. Still, though, most of their players from the China Agricultural University in Beijing. Meanwhile, it's Colin Hawley. As the hooter sounds, it goes wide to Clever. Just barges his way through, hands off another, and scores one on the half-time whistle. Great work by the big forward. 28-year-old who's been playing his rugby recently with Suntory, the champions of Japan, and before that became the first American to play in the Super 14 series with the Xerox Lions of South Africa. Good work. On the other hand, listen in. So, no significant change here.
Time on.
So the hooter has sounded. This will be the last play of the first half. Gives a nice leeway for the USA as they change over with a 10-point lead. But China certainly looking more competitive than they have done in recent times.
China.
They don't get much exposure. This was the final try. Was it perfectly legitimate to me? May have been a question whether he put a foot in touch or not. Clearly didn't. Well, he's a key figure as former student of Loughborough University in the UK, and getting bandaged up with that nasty cut below his bottom lip. The way he's being dressed, he'll end up looking like a mummy. I think he's going to come back on. They'll need him. He's still spouting some blood, I think. Well, the bandage stopped anyway before it went all the way down. Well, he's been one of the great recruits from the American football game. An outstanding wide receiver with the Oregon Ducks in the professional game, but has produced himself as an outstanding prospect in the rugby union game now, and has been the key ingredient this season for the USA Eagles. 17-7 then, 6 minutes to play in this second round game. Popped up to Shalom Suniula. Wide out Emmerich, ready for another run. Handoff didn't work that time. Went forward. Oh, he was tackled. The referee said he was tackled and didn't release the ball. Certainly looking sharp and fit is Emmerich the fourth. Well, you question mark the advisability of kicking the ball away to touch. No guarantee that China will win the following line out. Test comes back on then into the line out with Hawkins and Clever. The throw in for Jinyi, another member of the People's Liberation Army. That's what I mean. Why kick it into touch in the first place when you have the ball in your hands for once? Possession being everything. Good work by Marco Barnard. Away to Shalom Suniula, then Test, then Suniula. Emmerich wide out. High attempted tackle, didn't work. Good work with Clever involved again. And slick and orthodox, and Emmerich's hat-trick. Well, Emmerich was out of the Sevens game quite a while, but was recalled last year to the Wellington tournament. He's certainly looking fit and fast and slick. Proving a great asset. He's very much on top of his game, playing better than I've seen for some time. Shalom Saniula, he plays in Brisbane Breakers. As we know, quite a few Americans now playing across the world. Oh, it's a lovely break coming though from China, and this is Wang Jiacheng. Wang Jingcheng is inside the USA 22, tackled by Saniula Shalom. But the follow-up player, Li Jialin, gave away the penalty by going down, not staying on his feet. Turned over though by Chen Shuxuan. This is Long Hangxiao. Oh, he's breaking the way. Great try for the new man in the China colours, Long Hangxiao. And a very competitive effort this is proving to be. Well, one sensed with the enthusiasm that came from China with the arrival of the Olympic status of rugby sevens. And they're beginning to bring in new players, and here's one of them. Nearly all of them came from the Chinese Agricultural University up till this year. Now there are quite a few coming out of the military sports clubs and universities, and Long Hangxiao here is one of the 3 newcomers in this China squad.
Number 7.
So 24-14, they stay in touch. Game not won yet by the USA. They lead by 10 with 2.5 minutes to go. And here is one of their new players, a university student as well, Taylor McCarthy from University of Oklahoma, who's come straight out of the USA under-20s. Similar to Peter Tiberio, who's University of Arizona. And a very deliberate policy here of Al Caravelli of blooding new players, like this guy who's getting a few experiences now with Miles Craigwell here. Another guy who's crossed over from American football. Defensive back with the Miami Dolphins. Miles Craigwell, and another athlete of great promise and potential for sevens. This is Hawkins going wide. And Test finds himself in the right place. Zach Test then, and that gives the comfort to the USA. But, you know, here we're seeing this kind of player of this caliber coming out of American football, and there are a host. We'll talk to Al Caravelli, he'll tell you how many potential players there are to cross over from American football who perhaps aren't in the very top flight of that game, but are anxious to become an Olympian. And that's the incentive to these players, to become an Olympian. And these young players now are taking their chance and trying to impress their coach, Al Caravelli, to bring them into the squad. And we've got a few here. There's Al. Far better performance here. No mean opponents anymore are China. Yang Shuxuan and Li Jialin. They've been very much to the fore, those two. They're getting better. Well, I was about to say getting better possession, but that one was quickly, slickly turned over. Makes some good work by Hawley, did that. And Chen Shuxuan is back on his feet. There's Matt Hawkins there, Belmont Shaw, so regularly the top sevens champions of USA, captain of the squad. Jin Yi, with a modicum of experience. This is his 5th tournament, which is more than most. There's so little opportunity. We'll go in again. China put in last play of the game, 31-14. Haven't been humbled here by any means, China, but I think Caravelli will be pleased that I think a better performance than against Japan. Perhaps Japan are a little bit stronger than China at the moment, but even so, they've played some good sevens. Craigwell goes back. What do they do? They want to try and keep it going. They'll still want another score if they can. That's good working, good thinking there by Taylor McCarthy on his first touch in IRB sevens. And here's Colin Hawley. They want another try. Points could be very significant in this tournament, especially. Matt Hawkins to score it, and they round it off in style here, the USA Eagles. So it comes down to equal points, and the positioning for the level and status of the knockout stages could hinge on a differential of points for, points against. Colin Hawley did well here. Long striding youngster from University of Berkeley in California. And here's the ex-on-back man, Old Mission Beach, now Belmont Shore, adding yet another try to his record of 32 prior to this tournament. That's his second here in Hong Kong, and a comfortable win in the end. China beaten, but not humble. 36 points to 14.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for the full-time sponsor. Thank you so much for the Swiss.